All right. So now that we have talked quarterbacks, running backs, this is another easy group for me. Tight ends.
Yeah, there's no question.
This is up great here, bro. It's got to be. Yeah.
What else you got to say? We drafted Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah.
We bring back our top receiving tight end last year.
In terms
and
of
Eric Ebron. What do you have? He
Yeah.
had like 500 yards, something like that. Obviously, he had the drops, but we lose. We basically trade Vance McDonald for Pat Freiermuth, a second-round pick who people were saying could be the next Gronk. Sounds good to me. Sounds like the tight end room is going to be pretty solid. And you add this whole Matt Canada offense where, I don't know, either we do some of these two tight end sets or we're able to utilize Freiermuth in a way better way than we would any other tight end that we've had in the past, especially with his athleticism. I mean, it's going to be much improved, in my opinion.
I do agree. And
I like Freiermuth's number 88. Could that be an iconic number for the season? Like, who's been 88 in the past? Hayward Bay?
Yeah.
I think he was.
And who was before him then? Emmanuel Sanders, right?
Dude. Is it Lynn Swan?
Well, I know Swan, but I'm saying like recently, like in the near part.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was Emmanuel.
No.
Or was it Mike? One of them were in the 80s, right? I thought one of them were 80-something, 88.
Oh, damn, dude.
Am I tripping?
Sanders was 17. No, you're right. Emmanuel Sanders was 88.
He did. Okay, he went to 88. Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders was 88.
All right.
So, yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
So
Pat Freiermuth can make the 88 look good, but no, seriously, it's a no-brainer. We trade Vance McDonald for Pat Freiermuth. Matt Canada's system, I think it's going to be a little bit more tight end friendly than anything we've seen in the past, even with like Keith Miller. I think this could be a really nice system for two tight ends, or we just single out Pat Freiermuth with his athleticism. They talk about him as the next Gronk. So yeah, this is gonna be great. I think this is gonna be a huge upgrade. Actually, this is gonna be something that we were hoping whenever we had like Ladarius Green.
Yes.
But did we have Heath Miller? We didn't have.
No,
it was Jesse James.
It was because he had just left the year before.
Like if we had Heath Miller and Ladarius Green both healthy.
Yes.
I think this could actually be a better version of that potentially. Ooh. Just because Pat Freiermuth's a little bit more athletic than Heath.
Yeah, true.
And then Eric Ebron. That's actually a good debate. Like if Ladarius Green was on, he might have been a better tight end than Ebron.
When Ladarius was on and healthy, I mean, he has some moments, man. Like
just an overall tight end because he's obviously a better blocker, but Ebron's good as a receiving tight end.
Well, and Ladarius had the better size. Like Ebron was thicker, but Ladarius, in terms of just the mismatch of being able to go up to that top floor and get the ball, Ebron he has the ability to make combat catches, but he just athletically isn't jumping the same way that Ladarius is going to be able to jump with his length and stuff like that. But man, dude, that brings up a good.
So you could call it a hot take, but this could be a better version if we had Heath and Ladarius Green in the same tight end room. That's what I'm saying. That's how I could see this playing out.
Okay. Well, I don't think of it as a hot take though, because I could definitely see that if Ebron, the biggest thing with Ebron is what? Consistency. We're not expecting him to wake up tomorrow and become this blocker. He's just not going to do it. It is what it is. And I'm fine with that. We all know that's what you're doing. Cool. But what he can do a lot better is just catch it at a higher clip. That's the biggest thing that I want to see from him in terms of 2021. Just being more consistent with his hands. I think if he does that, this tight end group, man, with Pat, if Pat does like we think he will do in terms of coming in and being able to have a similar impact early on to how Chase Claypool was able to just come out there and be a productive player early. If Pat is able to do something like that, which we think he is going to be able to do and more than capable of, then yeah, you're talking about having a really nice 1-2 combo tandem at that tight end position and guys who complement each other very well, similar to what we said about Minkah and Terrell Edmonds. We said, man, for Edmonds, he's really good in terms of tackling, needs to work on his ball skills and coverage. We said with Minkah, elite in terms of his ball skills and coverage, needs to work on wrapping up and being a more consistent tackler. With this right here, it'd be the same concept. Ebron, all right, we know you run these great routes. We know you can catch, for the most part, but we know you struggle from a blocking standpoint. Pat, we know you can block with the best of them right now, and you seem to be able to go out there and compete and make good catches and get open. Now, can you do it at the NFL level with some of these higher end athletes? That's the part where we'll see, but as a whole, they both complement each other. The yin and yang element right now is good.
Yeah, definitely. This one was a no-brainer too, in my opinion.
I like that. And let's go in here to the chat now that I had Maystrop. Remember to put it in here. All right.
Does anyone say no?
I'm trying to see. Is anyone going to say no? Nope. By the end of the season, No. It's gonna be Fireman's Room. I agree with that. Winners, yes, it will be.
You were talking about that a couple episodes ago. You were like, Ebron's gonna wash out.
I'm just telling you, he's gonna be the guy. If he stays healthy and he just progresses how he's supposed to progress, he's gonna be the guy, man. And everybody was agreeing. It was Emmanuel Sanders with the 88. Shout out to, man, see, we was over here fumbling around. I was over here like multitasking. I was missing the chat. Everybody was saying 88. All right. Tight end room is decent. 2 tight end sets are going to be nasty. Yes, indeed. Nick M., you're absolutely right here. He says it couldn't be worse. He does bring a point there because last year, I don't think it's going to be worse than last year. Just by default. I mean, you're bringing in Pat, whereas with Vance, we know he was in and out a little bit. He dealt with the COVID. He actually had the positive. Yeah. So, you know, it was
there was that whole controversy of like Ben was a close contact. There was a couple other people.
That was right after the Cowboys game, right?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't know what game was next, but yeah, we had to wait. Like Ben didn't practice it all that week. I don't know who else was on that COVID list. It was a couple other players. Was Jalen Samuels on it?
And Vince was up there. Yeah. Because was that Washington week?
It might have been.
That might have been Washington. Yeah.
It might have been.
That's crazy. All right, let's see what else.
Last year the worst tight end performance we've had? I think 2019 probably.
I'm about to say
2019.
19 was, that's with Nick Vannett, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, because we traded for Vannett. Vance still in and out? Was Vance?
Yeah, he was in and out.
Yeah, and who was our other guy?
That might have been it, dude.
Was it Gentry? Zach?
I don't know. Yeah, when did we pick him up?
That would have been
was
that
in the
year.
Middle of the season?
No. Zach was the late round draft pick. The tight end out of, was it Michigan?
Okay, so
he was like 5th or 6th
roster.
round dude. Yeah, but
so that was
that.
At least Ebron caught like over 500 yards last year.
Seriously, dude. Yeah, 19. It was a rough time for us, man.
Yeah, 19 was just terrible.
I'm trying to see, is anyone else gonna? I'm trying to see if we got any negatives. The only negatives about the tight end room right now are just with Ebron. That's we'll leave it at that.
But he was here last year.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, in terms of people looking into 2021, though, in terms of if they think the tight end room would be better or not, the only negative
he can't have more drops, right?
But that's what people are bringing up. They're saying because of the
be
drops, it couldn't though. I mean, how many did he actually catch? It could be worse.
There's no way. Just knowing I guess that's always been his weakest spot.
It has. This isn't new. But think about when we signed him, we said what his last healthy year he came off was at 13 or something drops, and we were just like,
you don't believe it. You don't believe it till you see it. And because I didn't care, I was just like, oh wow, we got Eric Ebron.
It's gonna be different because he's here. It's gonna be different.
First round pick. Like this is gonna be awesome. You're right. Yeah. And then you witness it.
Yeah.
And it just hit home because it was him and Deontay at the same time.
They did back to back.
It was just really bad. It was a bad multiplier.
Yeah, without.
If it was just Ebron, I think it'd be fine. Because if Deontay made a couple of his catches, I think maybe we won 1 or 2 of those games, or at least
we agree.
Offense looks a little bit different, but if it's at both at the same time,
for certain Washington game,
Washington,
that was the one where it was just like, this is terrible, and then that's ultimately what led to Deontay getting benched in the Bills game the following week, because it was like, whoa, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
And we could both agree that both of those performances by not only Deontay, but Deontay and Eric could have been the difference in those games from a confidence standpoint, from just a situational football standpoint of, okay, man, if you're getting catches early on, man, you're moving the sticks, you're able to progress, you're not going to fall behind and things like that. Whereas in those games, we saw how those things played out due to those drops and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can't be worse, though, because if Ebron is experiencing drops, we just put Pat in full time.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't mess around.
Absolutely.
And we didn't have Pat last year. That would have been Vance McDonald, who was in and out of the lineup a little bit.
And then even with that, Vance still was going to be limited from a receiving standpoint. He was going to be able to excel from a run blocking standpoint. And we knew if Vance were to catch the ball, he has run after potential. But he was another guy that wasn't as polished as a route runner and just, wasn't as prolific of a receiver as Eric Ebron was. So with that, it would have never been the same level of threat or same level of, man, I could really get pulled out of this game for Eric as it will be next year when you have a guy like Pat who can literally do everything. Has the size, has the speed, has the savvy route running ability, can make the catches, can block. Can play off ball, can play on ball, can spread them out. It's a lot that you can do with this guy. So for Eric, now it's a different level of pressure. Now you realize, no, this is a legit player that's behind me. I better be careful because he might surpass me sooner than I would like.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's nice all around though. We
That's
have
what I'm
nice
hoping, man.
2 tight end sets. Ebron
I'm
has a
hoping.
good season. So does
Absolutely.
Pat. And then we'll just have to make a decision next offseason about whether we bring Ebron back or we just
be easy, man, because
simply focus on Pat.
Listen, they're both gonna have this like Hernandez Gronk type vibe where they're just dominating everything, and then we'll pay them both, and it'll all be good, man.
Because it seems like Ebron loves it here.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah.
And the fans seem to like him for the most part, as long as he's not dropping the ball. So then he's good. Yeah, catch the ball, they'll love you even more. That's simple, baby.